All right, welcome back. I think, if I have this right, but our next guest will correct me if I'm wrong, a week from this coming Tuesday, actually, the 5th, I think House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has graciously invited the president to come deliver the State of the Union before Congress. And joining us now on the on-air listener lines, Alex Wilkes, Senior Vice President of America Rising. There's a little preview, some preview thoughts on the President's State of the Union. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks so much for having me.
Well, thank you for being with us. To say it's been contentious between the White House and at least Democrat-run House over the budget in the government shutdown and things like border security is an understatement, even if there was some gamesmanship and politics at the center of it. But now the president will be moving towards a State of the Union. What should we expect?
Maybe some good theater. I mean, this whole process has been sort of fraught with complications when it comes to the government shutdown. We see that the president and the House, the Democratic-controlled House, are really locked, horns over certain issues. But I think that the president has a real chance here to talk about some issues that where he and the Democrats could find some common ground. An issue like infrastructure, for example. And I think that if his goal here is to reach out to some of these Democrats and kind of make it a little bit difficult for them to sort of turn their backs on working with him on issues like that, some of these newly elected freshman Democrats from more moderate swing districts, I think that he has a real opportunity at the State of the Union to kind of put the squeeze on them.
Now, I want to ask Alex Wilkes of America Rising, dealing with one of these colds that everyone's getting. Alex, how civil, or talk about some of the optics when the president comes in, how respectful, are we going to see the backs turn, the boos, or is this going to be a more respectful type appearance before Congress, or do you think we're going to see some sideshows?
I think we'll see some sideshows. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has already, made it very public that she will refuse to shake the president's hand, I guess, should the opportunity arise. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of her colleagues would follow suit. Unfortunately, in our day and age, it seems like the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and most of these these members are looking for anything to kind of send out to their list of small dollar donors about I did this to stand up for the president, or I did that. So rather than sort of participate in this. What's supposed to be a very congenial display of the co-equal branches of government, it will be, I think, unfortunately, the way our system works today, it's more advantageous, I think, for them to engage in sort of the kind of tactics that are going to get attention.
And Alex, the president, any surprises from him? Will he be rather respectful? Do you think he'll have a little humor worked in there when he talks about the speaker? They've had their back and forth, or do you think it's going to be, all business? And, do you think there'll be some showmanship from the president's side?
I think that he's actually in the last, in both the joint address he gave to Congress right after he was elected and the last State of the Union, he's gotten pretty high marks for both of those speeches. Both of them included moments that, were sort of unifying and very uplifting. I'm thinking specifically about the serviceman that was killed and his wife, who was the president of the joint address to Congress. There have been other, instances where there have been these sort of patriotic displays that have been, I think, sort of unifying for people to see. But, I guess the one thing you can predict about the president is that he is unpredictable. And I think that certainly the State of the Union is no exception. And I think we should expect to have a couple tricks up his sleeve to sort of, like I said, maybe put the Democrats in a unique challenge, or to sort of put new ideas before them. Do you think
he'll throw, because the February 15th, the current funding, the resolution that we just saw to end the government shutdown is 10 days from the point of the State of the Union? Do you think the president will throw a deal out there and, kind of put it on the Democrats before the public eye, or not?
I think so, because, before the government shutdown ended, the president had actually given a speech the 2 Saturdays before or so, where he laid out, I think, some concessions that are very popular with the American people. For example, DACA being one of those concessions. And so I think, the American people didn't quite get to sort of hear that message through all the noise. And I think that if he has a bigger stage to kind of make that case, the Democrats will be in a more difficult position to sort of say no.
All right, Alex Wilkes with America's Rising. Thank you very much for joining us in New Hampshire today. We'll get you back again soon. A preview on the President's State of the Union right here on New Hampshire Today. Thank you.